if I hadn't gone and had these things removed and waited a year and started to feel ill, I don't know where I'd be today. I'd be much worse off, I believe that. So I've become a big advocate for going to get people tested. Everyone should go. And I repeat the line I heard from the doctor on Fox, you got a pimple that won't heal, it's not a pimple, go to a doctor. That's what you got to do. I had a little mark on my head that wouldn't heal, and I thought it was from shaving my head, so I ended up calling my primary care physician, and he said these words to me. He said, I'm sending you to the doctors I would send my father to. And I was like, you know what? That's good enough for me. So I went to a dermatologist for the first time in my life. They did a biopsy, and it turned out to be basal cell carcinoma, which everyone likes to call the good cancer, which is an oxymoron. All it required was Mohs surgery, which was fairly simple. I went through that procedure, but while I was there, I had two, what we called at the time, little cysts on my cheek. And I asked about those because they were reddish, purplish lumps. They were thought at the time to just be cosmetic. My wife took pictures and chronicled the whole kind of journey. This is on a vacation we took right before I had the Mohs surgery, but you can see on this what turned out to be the melanoma that we thought were just cysts. So they sent me to a plastic surgeon who did some great work removing them. I had a perfect little, not even a 1-inch scar. A week later, when I went to get the stitches out from that, Dr. Danahey from Duly called me back and said, the pathology is back and it's melanoma, you need to come back in. I went back, I met with an oncology surgeon, Dr. Ciaran Bradley, who explained to me that the difference between basal cell and melanoma, and that with melanoma, they would have to remove a sufficient amount of tissue based on the depth and circumference of the tumors to make sure they got all the cancer cells from the area. Plus, they would do testing to make sure it hadn't spread anywhere else. That was the first time during the whole thing, or maybe the only time, where it was a little chilling, because he said, can I draw on your face? And he drew a circle, and it was a substantial little oval. I have 4 grandkids, and I said, I don't want to scare my grandkids, and I don't want to wake up and have another procedure pending. So whatever you can do while I'm out, that's the approval I want to sign. And he got it right away. When I woke up, I had this giant bandage around my head, and they were very happy to say that they were able to pull the skin up and cover the wound without having to do a skin graft. And it healed right on Easter Saturday. We're faithful people, and we don't believe that was an accident. There was some divine intervention there, which we were happy to accept. But since then, when you go through something like that, especially when it was so shocking that, by the way, this is what you have, we've done everything we can to pay it forward. I saw lots of people with noses and ears that were damaged and needed repair, and it made me think locally here in the police department, we need to do better for the officers. So one of the things we've done is we've installed sunscreen dispensers in the locker rooms. And they've been met very positively by the officers, who can just put some on before they go out, especially during the summer. And then we bought what we call bucket hats, military-style boonie hats that have a wider brim that go all the way around the head, that also provide a greater level of shade, particularly when an officer's got to stand out in traffic or direct traffic, or there's a fire or a car accident or something, when they know they're going to be exposed to the sun for a bit.
When we go out to protect our community, it feels nice to know someone is watching our back as well.
On top of that, I'm an advocate. I talk to people all the time. I think I've sent somewhere between 8 and 12 people to the dermatologist. A number of them have had things removed. Until you're faced with something like this, no one knows how they're going to react. I relied on my faith. I think that helped a lot. Thinking that if this was the way it was going to be, if this is what God wanted for me, then that's what it was going to be. One of the great things about Duly and my chart is you get to see everything. And if you read through it, some of it's medical language that is beyond me, but some of it's pretty clear. And when you read that, oh, your skin has sun damage, you're like, oh, I didn't think I had sun damage. Obvious sun damage. It's like, I thought I looked pretty good for my age or whatever, but it's all preventative care now. It is. So the hats, the sunscreen, I wish everyone else who would be faced with this would have the same good road I've been able to travel. And I think that comes from getting it early.